watching the 2023-24 SCAC Women's Basketball Media Days. And today we're taking a dive into the Southwestern University Women's Basketball Program. The Pirates will be led as they head into the season under the guidance of first-year head coach Kriesel-Bigler, along with the leadership from sophomore Aniyah Burke. Coach, Aniyah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Coach, we'll get started with you. The big announcement made back in July, a little over 2.5 months ago, of your hiring there to take over as the women's head basketball coach at Southwestern. I'm just interested what these last couple of months have been like, the transition for you, and really kind of the excitement now. I'm sure it's hard to believe we're here in October and it's time to get going. What does this look like for you, and how excited are you to be with this group finally?
Yeah, I feel like we've blinked and we're almost in November already. So got hired in late July, got here as quick as possible, hit the ground running recruiting, just being a little bit later in the summer and things like that. Got to meet some of the girls on campus. We have a lot of local on the team, so it was really nice to start getting to know some of them, meet them in person, and just get acclimated to being here. Luckily I'm familiar with the area, being from right here in Austin, going to Anderson High School, just about 25 minutes up the road. Familiar playing AAU ball over here over the summer, kind of growing up. So to be back at Southwestern and back in the Austin area has been incredible to be back and reconnect to a lot of coaches, friends, and family that are still in the area, and just get kind of, again, hit the ground running with the team. Those 8 extra days were incredible for us, just being new, getting a new system, getting acclimated to the coaching style, the standards and expectations. So I'm very thankful that we had those extra days as we get started in the season. So I think those were huge for the team, and we've been getting together a lot, right? Getting to know me, getting to know them. It's been a lot of bonding. It's been a lot of getting to know each other and getting acclimated, but it's been an awesome couple of months to be back and be here.
Aniyah, last season you came into Georgetown and made a real splash in your first year, averaging 10 points a game to lead this team. You made 21 starts, also added 3.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. How did that experience going through the collegiate grind for the first time, help continue to grow your confidence coming into this year's sophomore campaign? And what is it that you worked on over the course of the offseason, basketball wise, that gives you confidence going into this year?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely, being able to play definitely gave me a lot of confidence, just a lot of experience overall. And then coming in, like working over the off season, just working on getting to the rim and just the stuff that I'm not great at, kind of working on that and doing better at that.
Coach, you talked about, the standards and the principles, just, trying to get those in place early on and hit the ground running. Talk a little bit about sort of those philosophies, sort of those key messages that you've given to this group early that you really hope setting the foundation, with this season moving forward.
Yeah, I think we've been talking a lot about change. Change is hard. Going through a coaching change is not the easiest thing. Having a new leader take over, it's hard sometimes to get acclimated to the differences, the standards, the expectations. We're trying to play a lot differently this year. We're trying to play a lot faster in the full court and things like that a little bit more. We've talked a lot, I think some of the pillars of our kind of program of what we've talked a lot in the preseason. One, first and foremost, is growing, bringing a growth mindset to what we do this year is going to be huge for us. I've been telling them we have to have some patience. It might not all click right off the bat for us. We have 6 newcomers in the program. We've got a whole new coaching staff, right? So I'm asking them to believe and have some faith in the bigger picture down the road, but bring a growth mindset to what we do this year. We've talked about unity, being more connected as a group, getting to know each other, right? A lot of new people, a lot of new coaching staff, and how we're going to bond and be together and be a united front, a united group. And so we've talked a lot about that and been working on that. And then we've talked a lot about action, not talking about what we're going to do, but being really process oriented and actually bringing it and how we perform and how we approach practice every day and how we compete. So we've been talking a lot about that. And those 3, I think, have been our biggest focus heading into this year.
Aniyah, from a student athlete perspective, coach talks about change being difficult. Certainly the transition with the new head coach is part of that. What has coach brought that maybe has made that change a little bit easier to digest? How has that transition gone? And what is this group excited about with the new influx of energy that coach has brought this season?
Yeah, she's definitely just brought the energy, brought a lot of structure. And like she said, growth is like the name of the game here. So I think she's like pushing everyone to grow way more, and just letting us go like to new heights, I think.
Coach, as you enter this your first season as a head coach, having been obviously around basketball your whole life, but this a new perspective on things. Are there mentors? Who are people that you've learned on? I know the learning is quick and often, and you mentioned hitting your feet, hitting the ground running. You know, who are those folks that you've leaned on that have been really helpful here in these first couple of months in your first year as a head coach?
Yeah, I've been really lucky. I've worked for a lot of people and in different levels. You know, I was a GA and manager at LSU, seeing it and you know, in the SEC basketball sense, that level. I've worked at a mid-major D1. I've worked at, this is my fourth Division III liberal arts school. So I think I've brought a lot of and leaned on a lot of different experiences that I've had in different places. A big one though is Lindsay Burke last year at Randolph-Macon, as the assistant for her. A great program that has a lot of history and tradition of winning. And I was lucky to work for her, be mentored by her. She threw me into a lot, gave me a lot of responsibility. She knew I was interested in getting a head job opportunity soon. And so I think she was like, all right, let's make you ready to be a head coach. She gave me a lot of autonomy, gave me a lot of responsibility. You know, I had to go through doing pregame talks. She made me do radio shows if, you know, before the game and things like that. Was like, all right, let's get you ready. So I'm really thankful to work in that program, see it at a really high level. And I get to implement a lot of those, but she pushed me to new heights to make me feel really ready, I think, for this experience. I've worked for Justin LeBlanc at Millsaps as we transitioned to the SAA. I'm familiar with them. We won, you know, the regular season in 2019 at Millsaps. Again, another program that I lean on Justin a lot. And he's really familiar with this brand of basketball and at this level. So really lucky from a lot of different people, from a lot of different programs and levels. And to be back here, I always wanted to be a D3 head coach. My values, I love this level. Southwestern's a great place. So it's a little bit of a dream come true and full circle to take over and lead this program. But yeah, I lean on the experience in the past and different people every day. And I see that more and more coming out as I become a head coach and continue to coach. So it's exciting.
Aniyah, it's clear from listening to both you and Coach that the excitement is very, you know, prevalent there as we get ready to start the season. And now, as hard as it is to believe, you know, just a couple of weeks away from kicking things off, as we get ready to get started, and you've had conversations with your teammates about some of the goals for this group heading into this season. What have those conversations looked like, and what will be key for this team to try and accomplish those heading into the year?
Those conversations are really just pushing each other to get better. Like Coach said, we're trying to work on unity a lot. And I think it's coming to fruition a lot. I think we're bonding a lot more. And I really feel like everyone in that locker room really has each other's backs.
And finally, Coach, wrapping things up with you, you know, that first year is always special. There's only one first year, you know, when you get this program and get to start anew. And so as you've kind of taken inventory and looked ahead to the season and had conversations with your assistants, you know, this season is successful with what plays out. Maybe not necessarily everything on the floor, but things off the floor as well with this group. What are you looking for to help continue to build that foundation and have a successful opening season there at Southwestern?
Yeah, I think we're talking, you know, we're really process focused, right? And I kind of touched on it. The team is, you know, we're trying to get better every single day. And I do think it's going to click later on. I think we're going through some of those growing pains now of just a new system, new defensive schemes, right? The X's and O's and things are different. What I'm really focused on is how intentional we are in our practice, how competitive we are on the court, how how much of a unit, how connected are we on a deeper level, right? When we go through adversity this season, I don't want to see us start to pull apart. I want us to see us kind of get together and continue to grow. In that, I think our culture in year one is super, super important to lay that foundation and have an extremely strong foundation of togetherness, being focused. And I think the goal is to be competitive in every game we play this year. I think that's a kind of unspoken goal for us this year. But again, we're not really talking about results. We're not really talking about how many games we want to win, how many games we want to win in the non-conference and things like that, right? We're really focused on us and turning inward, and just getting better every day, and being intentional about how we practice and talk to each other and are connected as a group. And for us, if we come out of this year and we've done that, and we feel like our culture is in a great place, we have a locker room that's all on board and 2 feet in and really committed towards each other, I think we're gonna be successful this year.
Southwestern University Pirates women's basketball program. Again, Southwestern will be led under the guidance of head coach Caitlin Kriesel-Bigler, along with the leadership from sophomore Aniyah Burke. The Pirates open up the 2023-24 season November 8th on the road at Concordia. Coach Aniyah, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.